Creatures of the night, let's talk about some interesting developments within New Japan Pro Wrestling. And while I'm talking about New Japan, I'm also looking to explain this in a way that this affects all of pro wrestling as well. So we have had a news today about Naito and BUSHI leaving New Japan. This came as a shock, and it's crazy because I think it was like in the middle of the night, which was, I guess, daytime for Japan, when I actually saw this news, and I was just like, wait, what the hell? I was really, really surprised about it. I literally saw Naito this weekend over at the pay-per-view, and also got to meet him on Saturday. And that right there probably is like the last opportunity, maybe, that people would have had to be able to meet Naito, especially in the US. Now, a few days before that, Jeff Cobb has also parted ways with New Japan as well. Can I say that was a shocker? Not 100%. Simply because I've heard rumors about Jeff leaving New Japan, God knows, for almost as long as AEW has been around almost. I've been hearing those rumors. But I think it came a little bit more of a surprise to people because not even 2 weeks ago, I think April 4th or 3rd, he won the tag championships with Callum Newman. So that was pretty sudden. I think, like, if you literally leave 2 weeks later, maybe you already knew what was up and that you had made up your mind and that you didn't want to leave. Like, I would never put a title on someone if I felt like they kind of had their foot out the door. And sometimes promotions, they do things like this to kind of be like, hey, let's put a title on them. If we do this, this is going to convince them to want to stay. And honestly, sometimes that does not work out. Naito has been there for so long. Bushi, I feel like, also has left, probably influenced by Naito leaving as well, especially since both of those was announced on the same day. And for me, when you think of New Japan, like, you can, there's no way you could think of New Japan without thinking of Naito. Unfortunately, like, this past couple of years, Naito hasn't been in the best of health, having injuries and surgeries, even issues with his eye and whatnot. And it's just like, to be completely honest, it's been a while since I've watched him in the ring and truly enjoyed everything that he's done. But he's still a legend in this business, and people love and appreciate him for what he's done in professional wrestling. Now, with that being said, for me, what I'm feeling may be the case is that there's nothing really left for him to do. I personally don't see him continuing a professional wrestling career. He's only 42 years old. And what I noticed too was that Bushi and Naito and Jeff, they're all 42 years old, which is, I guess, a coincidence. And they're leaving New Japan. And Naito, for me, I honestly don't think I can truly see him continuing professional wrestling career. Maybe just enjoy retirement and try to, whatever issues that he's having with his body, he'll be taking care of that. Bushi, I don't know. Jeff, the rumors of him going to WWE would not surprise me at all. Or maybe even AEW, because we've heard those rumors along the way as well. I'm kind of sad about it, even though I have been vocal in my reviews about how Naito needs to take a step back. And for me, it really came apparent when he ended up having that match with Jon Moxley at Forbidden Door last year, was when I was just like, oh my God, this is probably the worst match I've seen in all of 2024. And it should not have been that way. I felt like they should have kept the title on Moxley for a little bit. But unfortunately, at the same time, there was a little bit of a disconnect with AEW fans and Jon Moxley having the IWGP heavyweight title. So I don't know. They did whatever they could with that, and he ended up getting the title back from Jon Moxley, which was really interesting. But to be honest, I don't think that should have been the case. He's already had the title several times already. He's won the G1, I believe, 3 times. And, he's been successful. But a lot of wrestlers they get into that point of their career, whether if it's their age or due to injury, where they cannot compete the way they used to. But something is, this is all I know how to do. This is what I love. This is my passion. This is my everything. And so I'm gonna keep continuing to do this until the wheels fall off. And sometimes you down to that last wheel and you still moving like you have all four of them. And it's just like, I wish things could have ended up in a better note. His last match will be on May 1st, same as Bushi too. Jeff Cobb already been out the door. So that's already done. He had to vacate the tag titles, which also means that Newman had to vacate as well, obviously with his partner, and that somehow garnered him the opportunity to go against Goto for the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Like, hey, bro, we sorry that Jeff left or whatever, and we had to strip you of the title. We'll let you have a little match with Goto or whatever. You ain't winning or anything, but we'll let you do that. In terms of us saying sorry for what happened. So that right there is gonna be interesting. But I do feel like, with this happening, although we don't know where Jeff or Bushi or Naito is going, if they were to go wrestle at other companies, this is something that I myself and other fans, New Japan fans, have realized. Like, the partnership with AEW, while I think there's been positives with it, there's been a lot of negatives for New Japan in the long run, where these wrestlers are realizing that I can have the best of both worlds. If I go to AEW, I can still wrestle in Japan, but I can also wrestle in front of a mainstream audience in the US. And that right there, it's goals. It absolutely is goals. But then you start to realize that I don't have to be here all the way on the other side of the world in Japan. And I can still be able to, be here when I want to be here, but also do other things. Jeff, I don't know. Well, like I said, he's 42 years old. Where does he stand in terms of, if he were to go to WWE? Honestly, I don't really see much happening at that point for him. I don't know how far his career will be stretched out there, so I don't know. But I could definitely see Jeff still going. Naito, I don't know, stay at home with the cats or something. But long term, New Japan, I feel like, have gotten the short end of the stick. When you think of partnerships with promotions, it's supposed to be a positive thing, and it's positive, but then they've lost a lot of important wrestlers, especially these gaijin wrestlers, these American foreign wrestlers, that Will Ospreay, Jay White, I was about to say Okada, not a foreign wrestler, but obviously one of the biggest names that they had that they lost. Kenny Omega, I don't really know. I feel like he's there, but whenever he can. So that right there is another thing as well. Mercedes, she's still wrestling over there, and that's simply because she has the New Japan Strong Women's title. But if she didn't, she wouldn't be on putting in as much work as she has, not being the champion. And it's interesting, Juice Robinson, all these people have left, and I feel like in terms of New Japan, we have to hold on to the people who are there, and also encourage, especially these wrestlers that are coming up through the academy, to want to be in New Japan, because we do have WWE who all of a sudden are broadening their horizons to all these wrestlers now. So now wrestlers are just like, okay, well, AEW, we like them, but WWE seems to have an open door now to try to encourage more people to come over there. And AEW, y'all just seem to be signing people every week at this point and not using the people who's already on the roster. But we're still at a place where it's like, New Japan, I don't know what's going to happen here, because I could honestly see more wrestlers jumping ship as well and just being like, hey, the US, we can do more things. Even WWE is being more open to partnership. It's still a little secluded in terms of who they want to partner with. However, they are also opening to that too. So now these wrestlers are going to be like, well, I could shoot my shot with WWE and see what happens. There could have been an opportunity. Even Mariah May, they're talking about Mariah May going to WWE, which I don't see happening at all. Y'all seen how quick Stephanie Bakir was out the damn door. when she got the opportunity. And New Japan, it's going to be a struggle, because when I went to the show this past weekend at Windy City Riot, I was also paying attention to the crowd and how people felt about New Japan in the US. And for me, a lot of people seem to, they gravitated more towards the foreign wrestlers. Yeah, everybody know Tanahashi, Naito, whatever. And the rest of them didn't seem to gravitate towards much. Even Goto with the IWGP World title, people didn't seem to be gravitating towards him. Shota Umino, we're not even going to talk about it. Like, I felt like there was a bit of a disconnect when it came to that. So it's really important, especially with New Japan making these dates in the US, which is crazy that they don't even have any more dates in the US that I know of so far confirmed in the US. And they'll be in Japan for the rest of the year. You want to be able to come back for more and more shows. You got to be able to broaden that horizon. Even with the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, I've always felt like it's more for AEW and less for New Japan, which seems kind of strange to me. It's never really felt 50-50 in terms of the New Japan shows. So like at this point, what do we do when you're losing all these key players, especially to the company that's supposed to be in this partnership with you? And I'm seeing fans saying, oh, things are getting worse for New Japan because they started working with AEW. I can't necessarily say that's the truth. Nothing is perfect, but I would say that I personally don't see the partnership to be fair. And I wonder if that will be an issue when it comes to the two companies in the future. Like President Tanahashi, this is last year. And Wrestle Kingdom will be the last match that he has, and then from there it's no more wrestling, all about just being the president. And what's going to happen at that point? Like, you're going to have to be strict. You're going to have to put your foot down and make decisions that is best for the company, not necessarily saying, hey, I want to have great working relationships with other people, so I have to try to keep other people happy. When you're trying to make other people happy, you kind of cause issues within your own home. So now you're seeing the roster dwindling, and unfortunately, I wish it didn't have to come to this point. I do these reviews and talk about it because I hope I'm encouraging people to watch, but at the same time, it's just like, well, what the hell is going on over there? Like, we can't just lose this company. They've been around since 1972, okay? They have that reputable reputation in terms of being able to provide really great wrestling, and they do provide great wrestling. And I just don't want things to get lost for them as they try to be on somewhat at the top of the pro wrestling world. Now, with that being said, I'm a little nervous for them. Am I saying anything like, oh, well, in another year or two, there won't be a New Japan? No, definitely don't think that's going to be the case. However, the numbers are going to go down, I believe. And if we don't have more and more people showing interest in the company in terms of fans and also wrestlers or whatever hats that you wear within the wrestling world, if more and more people are not trying to not just join, but also stay and have the interest to be in New Japan, then I don't know how the company is going to be able to grow. And they've already lost a lot of key players. Look at what's going on with Will Ospreay just taking over the world at this point, when he could have been in New Japan doing the same thing. But unfortunately, New Japan itself don't have that audience. AEW does. And I don't know if we'll see Jeff in AEW. We've seen him there a few times. Obviously still contracted. Let's not forget Kevin Knight is over in AEW as well. Looking like dual contracts to me because he's still part of New Japan. And for some wrestlers, even Takeshita has 3 contracts: DDT, New Japan, and AEW. And I don't know long term where it's going to go, but I'm a bit nervous. We appreciate the work that Jeff, Naito, and Bushi has put in within New Japan. And honestly, I'd be happy with whatever they do after this, But hopefully, wherever things go, I'm just hoping that we have better things going on with New Japan, because a lot of people are feeling nervous. And at this point, I'm kind of surprised to see a lot of people, specifically speaking New Japan fans, pointing fingers at AEW for what seems to be almost the beginning of the end of New Japan. I don't think it's safe to say that, though we do have to get the ball rolling and make better decisions when it comes to the people who are assigned within the company. This is one of those things where, like wrestling, there's so many more options now, and people are seeing how different promotions provide different things, and people are just like, hey, this is better for me, my lifestyle, this is better for me, my career, and people are making those decisions to jump from company to company. We're seeing that more than ever in these days, in modern times. And long story short, you guys, New Japan, they have great wrestling. If you love pro wrestling, I think you would enjoy them as well. Don't be discouraged about what's going on right now. The more and more people who are watching and more people who become wrestlers want to join New Japan, the better things could be. But right now, slightly worried. Thanks to Naito and Jeff and to Bushi, whatever y'all do at this point in your careers, I will still support. Guys, thanks so much for watching my video. See you guys in the next one. Bye.